Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Amazon Data Dudes with Seller Labs. My name is Nan Din, and I have with me James Tuxbury. Say hi, James.
Hello.
So in this video, in previous videos, which we'll attach below on the notes, we talked about what are the challenges or problems with the send to Amazon process. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about how we deal with those challenges with the FBA Shipment Builder. So we built this app called the FBA Shipment Builder, and I will show you here. And uh, James, tell us like what prompted us to build this FBA Shipment Builder.
As I said, this is the FBA Shipment Builder, and basically, what the reasoning for originally looking into this was basically increasing productivity because there's a lot of issues with the current Amazon system that a lot of hurdles that we were running into. The idea here is to greatly increase the productivity and avoid some of the pitfalls from Amazon's systems with this.
Yeah. So basically, we have built a better mousetrap instead of the Amazon sent to Amazon processor, in particular the step 1B, right? How to pack individual stuff.
Yeah, particularly how to submit the packing information for our shipments to Amazon.
So, who would you say this app is for? Is it like for small sellers, big sellers, or number of SKUs, or large shipments, or how does that work?
The people who would get the biggest benefit would definitely be people like large sellers with many SKUs. If you're only sending a handful of SKUs, it's pretty easy to deal with that through a spreadsheet or Amazon's front end system, which I think lets you do like 10 SKUs or 10 boxes or something like that. But obviously, when you're at this scale,
Yep, 10
it's
boxes.
yeah up to 10 boxes through the web form there. But when you're doing hundreds of SKUs, that's a bit unfeasible. So yeah, the main beneficiaries of this would be large sellers or something like agencies or prep centers that have lots and lots of SKUs that they're trying to send out.
That's right. So our e-commerce team at A Power Equipment, what are the typical number of SKUs we have for a pack in a shipment? Um,
Uh, in general, I would say regular shipping plan anywhere from on the super low end, like 50 to like 100, 150, 200 SKUs even sometimes. Uh, and quantity wise, like unit wise, we're talking usually 4 to 5,000, but we've gone, higher than that, probably double that in the past. But generally speaking, yeah, I would say around, let's say, 100 SKUs.
yep. And how many
And
units?
on average, about 4 or 5,000. In this particular case, in our sample here, we have 2,500,
Yep.
which is sometimes a typical amount, but yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So in the last video, we talked about what's wrong with the sent to Amazon process or the challenges with that. One of the things we mentioned was, let's see, the when things were wrong, you have to start over with the workflow over. So when you make a human error, you start the workflow over. Does this solve that problem, or and then we'll get into the how later.
Yeah, so the most common scenario that we've had that issue with is uh they do all their packing information, everything's good to go. They get to the point where they're gonna buy the shipping and stuff, and they realize that they've left something off the Amazon shipment. There's something physically on the table that isn't part of the shipment. Uh, and then at that point, what they have to do is essentially delete the shipment and rebuild it, which with the current system, unless you have that packing information, say you're submitting it via web or by the Excel sheet or something, if you have that, then maybe you can make that work. But if you're doing it through the web form or the scan and pack, it's a new shipment, so you essentially have to start over, rescanning everything, and all for the purposes of adding one extra SKU that you were missing to the box. Whereas with the system that we've put in place, it the FBA Shipment Builder, we keep track obviously of all the boxes. We have them stored in a database. So in the event that we have to stop, remake the shipment because of an error, uh, we already have the box list and stuff. So all we have to do is go in and make the new shipment, grab the new pack group ID, swap out pack group IDs, and boom, all the boxes that we've already scanned and built are now part of the new shipment. So we don't have to sit there and rescan. We just make a new box or add the missing SKU, whatever the situation is, to one of the existing boxes, and then we can keep going right where we left off.
So to sum it up, basically you don't have to start the workflow all over again. Whatever progress you made can be resubmitted. All right.
Yes, that
And
is correct.
then the other thing that we talked about the challenges was not being able to have like more than one person working in the same pack group with a scan and pack that in particular here.
Yes, that is a big time saver on for us at least. The scan impact system before, you could have 10 people working on a shipment, getting everything ready, but as soon as you hit this step, everybody has to sit on their hands until one person finishes scanning everything because you can't have more than one person inputting stuff into this page at the same time.
So how
Uh,
much time did our warehouse floor team say they saved by
yeah,
having the multiple people?
in our real life example here, our warehouse team said that before this process for a shipment for the whole shipment would take about an hour, and once they have one person working on each pack group instead of one person having to do the whole thing, they brought it down to about 15 minutes.
Yeah, so multiple people can scan in different boxes at once, and we'll go through
Yeah,
that
so
later.
the
Right.
yeah the multiple people can be as long as they're not working on the same box. You you can come in and, Non can come in and add a box and he'll add box four to this. And then if I'm working on a different computer and I add a box, my my system will see that he added box four, so mine will add box five, and we're not stepping on each other's toes.
The biggest was what you talked about earlier that the like anytime there's an error you have to start the workflow over, and what our team has noticed is like sometimes can take up to 4 hours, like especially if there's an error and Amazon doesn't tell us like which item or which box, they just tell us that there's something missing, and we haven't gotten enough scan and we don't know where it is, and we have to hunt 50 boxes out of 50 boxes and there may be one box that's wrong. And so that's probably two of the biggest time saving that we got, right? Uh, so let's go through the demo of this and show how it works. So we have a bunch of shipments here. We got in this shipment called Scan Test 2, and I've pulled up same shipment in the sent to Amazon process here, and I choose the pack group, and then when Amazon pulls the data, we pull the data from Amazon to know like what to send to Amazon, which you enter here in this confirmed inventory to send. And I'm assuming that's already done. We're just going to go to the next step, which is confirming which providing box content. So when you click on the shipment total, you also get the quantity that Amazon expects. So whatever the quantity is on here, we pull that down, and in this part here, SKUs ready to send, those 3 SKUs. I'll wait while it loads here. Those 3 SKUs. Click over here. You can see those 3 SKUs and are ready and the quantity ready to send. So we pull that down. It shows up here. When the item, I'm going to delete this box here and show you that.
Let's delete the contents first.
Oh, you have to delete the content. Okay, I'm going to delete the content here. Um, and go back to the shipment total. As you can see, those two items are not, Amazon's expecting 500. We only scanned 499 and 50, and so that's why the color changes here. And notice that it also tells you which box it's in. Um, so we add the boxes. As you can see, I'm going to delete this box. So now we only have 2 boxes. If we want to add a bunch of boxes, you can use this bulk, or you just add one box. So I'm going to add 1 box here. And here you can enter the dimensions. I'm just going to enter the random dimension here, and then hit save. There's no quantity in it yet, so you have to go to that box, scan in the item with the fun SKU there, and this is supposed to be have 500, so I'm going to scan in 500. Is my quantity correct? No, it's 50, not 500. So as you can see, the quantity we scan in doesn't match, because I put in 500 when they're expecting 50. So I go back here, I edit the quantity to 50 and save. And then you go to the shipment, you can see that it turned green. That means that it is correct. And then for this particular SKU, I'm going to grab that one SKU, add that in. The quantity is 1. The reason I added 1 in there so I can show you. You refresh the data to see if you got multiple people working on it, and you can refresh to see the data being updated, so that you can go into here, and as you can see, this listing SKU is in boxes 1 and 3. So it tells you which box it is. So you gotta label the box number to identify that particular box, because later on Amazon will give us a new box ID which they have in their system, and we will match it to the box number that is provided here. So once you provide the quantity, make sure all the lines are green. We're going to finalize this packing information. We're going to refresh here. I went through the steps already, so I'm going to go back to the beginning so you can see. So the first step is we're going to verify that the quantity and the amount matches.
Yes. So this screen right now it says no errors found.
No errors found.
But if you had like a discrepancy, like the quantities didn't match, this is where it would report that to you.
Okay, thank you for that. And there's a little pop-up at the bottom says it's verified. So once that happens, you click next, and when you're ready, there's no errors. So that's one of the steps that we put in, is to check for errors before you submit to Amazon. So that way, like when Amazon throws an error, we've already pre-checked to at least the preliminary errors, right? So we're going to submit this packing information to Amazon, these box content information, which is okay. It has been submitted. So if you go to Amazon here and you refresh this sent to Amazon process, it has been submitted. As you can see, there's 3 boxes with the packing information provided via web form. So if you make a mistake, you can hit restart here and resubmit that again. And then we will click next. You see the current status is success, but they gave a couple warnings because we randomly enter the weight here and the quantity. I put 2,000 items into a box. Realistically, obviously, that is not reality, but for this demonstration purposes, and I put it into one box to show you that it throws a warning, but it's just a warning. You can still continue with that. So once you are reviewed, make sure there's no error, you can submit. You have to go to Amazon Seller Central. So once we reviewed, we sent that information over Seller Central. Then we hit confirm and continue here. And what that does is Amazon takes that box content information and process it to see what they're going to charge you as far as placement fees and how many options they have as far as shipping to Amazon. So here in this step, you confirm the shipping. It gave you 2 options here, or this particular, it gave 2 options. You can do 2 shipments starting at $735 for the placement fees, or $965 for 1 shipment. So if you split it to 2 places, that's the charge for manual processing fee, and if it's 1 place, then it's $965, as you can see there. But there's also the shipping costs to factor in, so you have to kind of play around with that to see which one is the lower price to ship all those into the send to Amazon process. Sometimes they give you the option here to ship even more than 1 shipments there. So obviously this is a demo, so I don't want to hit accept there and select. But once we hit the confirm shipping and it's already built, then we click next, right, James?
Yes.
So I can go in here and hit refresh. And tell us what these boxes and IDs mean.
Right. So this is the information now that's coming back from Amazon once you've proceeded to the step on the Seller Central side that we just did. And what this will give you here is on the left there, you have the ID there, that's P1B1. That's pack group one, box one. In this particular case, the numbers line up. Those numbers come from Amazon though. The P1, B1, P1, B2. Those are not decided by us. And like I was saying, in this particular case, they do happen to line up. Pack group one, box one is our box one, etc. But the the difference is that usually when we have more boxes in a full shipment, that's not the case at all. Uh, P1, B1 could be box 19 or whatever from the shipment. And so what this screen here lets you do is basically line up our box numbers to Amazon's box numbers. And using this, we can, if the shipment says it needs P1, B1, we know that that means box one in our boxes.
Awesome. So the beauty of that, this is like once you're ready, you can hit accept and confirm once you select all the option. But sometimes what we found is there's an Amazon error where like if we choose some of them are small and parcel and some of them are less than truckload. But as you can see here, there's two shipments. One is to this and the other to that. Sometimes we choose one as to UPS and then we hit confirm and then they merge it all to UPS, one UPS, one. Like they did all that. So the nice thing about this is like if we make a mistake, we can go back to this individual instead of starting over. We can hit this restart button and it clears the information again. And then since we have this information saved, the box content information saved here, I can go into and finalize packing and go through all this stuff again. Yeah, so verify stacks, submit this packing information. As you can see, you have to enter it again, but because I hit this submit, if I refresh the page, it has the information already submitted. So that's the beauty of the problem that is solved, is not having to start the workflow over, and it can save hours on that if there's a problem to be solved. And we kind of solve some of those problems ahead of time by checking it for you. Anything else on missing on this, James?
There is one more thing that I'd like to highlight. Excuse me. If you go back to that shipment totals page there,
Yeah,
is that this, like Nan was saying, on the right there tells you the boxes that this is in. That's super useful for if they have an issue. If they get to the end and they're like, "Hey, we have a discrepancy. This thing says 500, but we only scanned 499." Uh, if you want to go look at where that is to figure out what happened, you have that list right there.
yeah,
And the other benefit is the thing you see on the right there, where if you click that details magnifying glass on the left, you get this pop out, which shows you the image and the description, which is super valuable for when you're trying to physically find where this stuff is. Uh,
yeah.
it's if you're looking at a SKU, who knows what that is? If you have 10 SKUs, that's cool, but if you have 1,000 SKUs, you're not going to know every single SKU by off the just what the SKU is. So
That's right.
it really helps hunt this
Or
stuff
if you
down.
have 50 boxes, you're not having to hunt through all 50 boxes. You
Right,
know
exactly.
exactly which box.
I'm looking at box one and three, and I'm looking for something that looks like these gloves.
Yeah,
Or in this case, I'm looking for box three, and it looks like those
that's
gloves.
Illinois.
Or the solenoid is in box one and three, so it really narrows down what you're looking for when you're trying to hunt something down.
Awesome. Well, thank you, James, for this episode of the Amazon Data Dudes to go over some of the challenges and how we solve that in our e-commerce business to kind of save time and money on for the send to Amazon process. All right, have a good one. See you.